Welcome back. As many of you guys know, a company that's about 1/16 the size of Larian Studios has just entered the CRPG market with their very own game, Solasta: Crown of the Magister. It's currently in its early access stages, just like Baldur's Gate 3, and it's also heavily based on the 5th edition rules and mechanics from Dungeons & Dragons. In this video, I'm going to give you my initial review of Solasta Early Access, and I'm going to try to avoid spoilers the best I can. But before we get started, I want to give a shout out to some recent channel members: Tiger Jax, Olafur, Some NASCAR Pit Monkey, Huckfat, Dragon Pink, Dark and Edster, Kyle Smith, Robert Burton, Roberto, Babin, D's Master, and Nightmare. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it. Links to my Twitter and my Discord server will be below. Let's talk Solasta. Solasta: Crown of the Magister is an ambitious CRPG that proves that smaller studios are capable of very big things. A company made up of just 15 to 20 employees by the name of Tactical Adventures has created and is still developing an in-depth, sophisticated RPG that is based heavily on the rules and mechanics from Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Although they don't have a full license to all things D&D 5e, the core of the game's mechanics might be about as close to the pen and paper as you can get in a video game. Within the first hour of playing Early Access, you will discover that Tactical Adventures is not afraid of creating a more hardcore experience that requires you as the player to have to read and learn how many things work. Games that offer this more complex type of experience can really make an everlasting impression on a player that is excited and willing to be truly engaged. Of course, Dungeons & Dragons players will be able to grasp onto and be more familiar with many rules and mechanics behind this game, and I'm sure that many of you greatly appreciate Tactical's willingness to truly implement the 5e system. Solasta brings in a completely new fantasy setting not related to D&D, and the game is filled with classes and races, of which some are D&D based while others are more home-brewed. Character creation itself lets you know that this game is not playing around, for you will make many choices in regards to your party. Solasta even allows you to create a custom party of 4 right then and there in character creation, but you can use pre-made characters as well. I created my own custom character and then used pre-mades for the other 3, for I didn't want to spend my entire night in character creation making decisions, and this has worked great so far in the game. However, it is recommended that you create your own party to truly get the experience that you want and see everything that is offered. This game does not have origin character stories or anything like that. There will be only one main storyline that all Solasta players will attempt to complete to finish the game. In character creation, you get to choose a race, class, starting equipment, background with personality choices and alignment. You can roll for stats, use the point buy system, use standard array, or just use the optimize button. You will choose your skill and tool proficiencies, languages, your character's appearance, which currently does not have many options, but it's good enough for early access, and also your character's voice. The cool thing about the personality stuff is that it does seem to have an effect with the in-game dialogue as to whether your character will be kind, sarcastic, or mean. This is truly a great character creation system that's obviously based on 5e. Great job, Tactical Adventures, for not holding back. Alright, now let's talk more about the actual gameplay in Solasta. Keep in mind that Tactical Adventures is a new and small studio, so they don't have access to resources like companies like Larian Studios do. With this in mind, I still actually think the game is very pleasing to the eye. Obviously, the dialogue scenes and animations are not going to be the best you've ever seen, but overall it has met my quality standards. The great thing about Tactical Adventures, though, is that it seems like they really understand that they don't have the resources that some other companies do, and rather than trying to be like other games, they instead focused on what truly matters, and that's the core of the gameplay. Right now, everything feels great, and you can tell that the team knows what they are doing. After character creation, the game starts you off in a series of tutorials where you play as each of your party members solo in their own quick little backstory. I enjoyed this part of the game, and it made it less overwhelming when I finally got full control of my party of 4. Combat in the game so far has been pretty good, and the camera seems to work better than it did in the older Solasta demo. This of course is a turn-based combat system that's heavily focused on the D&D 5e mechanics, and it seems to work very well. The game is challenging at times so far, but I haven't actually wiped on any major combat encounters, which I thought was going to be a guarantee, although I did attempt fighting that wolf in the beginning instead of being smart and using the rock, and yeah, I died. I would assume that difficulty levels and the overall combat will be tuned up a bit as early access goes on. Spells are a lot of fun to use, and swinging your sword feels great. I am enjoying the combat animations, and some of them are accompanied with sound effects that bring back some nostalgic feelings. This is one of the best things that games with lower budgets can do in my opinion. Shout out to Outward. The spell selection and attacks are going to also be very familiar to D&D players, and some of you might feel like pros as you level up. The cool thing though is that the monsters are not D&D monsters, so you can't really fully prepare and plan ahead. Positioning of your party is very important in fights, and also keep an eye out on the environment, for it may help you when all hope is lost. Overall, I enjoyed the combat, and I think anyone who likes turn-based combat will as well. Now on to other mechanics. In Solasta, in order to complete a long rest and gain the benefits that a long rest gives your party, such as replenishing HP, spell slots, and other class features, you have to find a bonfire or an inn if you're in the city. This is one of my favorite mechanics, and it makes taking a long rest feel rewarding. It actually feels like your party made it to something special, and the game rewards you with the D&D 5e stuff to revitalize and power your party back up from the weathered down state that they are likely in. Taking a short rest in the game will replenish certain class features, but also allow you to use the D&D 5e hit die system to heal your party members back up. Having the hit die system makes short rests also something that requires some thinking, and sometimes strategizing, which I love in games. Another interesting aspect of the game is the fast travel system. Instead of having just a simple loading screen to get you from one place to another, there's actually a really interesting fast travel system that makes you choose the speed that your party will travel at, and higher speeds result in the higher possibility of random combat encounters, which can and will happen and disrupt your travel. And different speeds take different amounts of time, which use more or less resources and more. Also, while fast traveling is occurring, you get to watch your party move across the map and see all the little activities that they are doing along the way from a text activity box. You might notice that they're gathering food, which you'll actually get as items in the game, or engaging in funny conversations with each other, or simply playing the loot. I thought this was a fun, unique touch to the game, and I found myself getting really excited just to fast travel. As far as the story in the world goes, I'm into it. I'm genuinely curious as to how it will all play out. You basically have a bunch of different nations that all want access to an area called the Badlands, which is filled with treasures and valuable knowledge. Political alliances have been formed to attempt to hold the peace, but due to an absence of communication from an outpost to the Badlands, something serious has happened and things seem to be on the brink of falling apart. You will engage directly in this political drama, while also being a badass adventuring lethal combat group. The dialogue is quite entertaining, and I have to say I've laughed quite a bit at the added sense of humor that's done in a realistic and not in-your-face type of cheesy way. I know that when I'm with my friends, sarcasm and little remarks happen all the time between us, and Solasta seems to have captured just this with their dialogue, making it fun to play a part in these non-adventuring, non-combat scenes. It's also noteworthy to mention that in many dialogue situations you get the option to respond with different party members. Depending on your party members' personality types, you will be given a choice between different responses. This is a lot of fun, and it adds some role-playing aspects to the game that help involve all party members and make you really feel invested in them. Alright, and the last thing I want to talk about is relating to Baldur's Gate 3. Instead of ripping on one game or the other, everyone should be happy that both Solasta and Baldur's Gate 3 are in early access stages. This is great because both companies can work off each other and take ideas to better develop their own games. They are in the same genre, but they're not really direct competitors with each other. I think most Solasta players will also play Baldur's Gate 3, and the popularity of Baldur's Gate 3 will bring many to Solasta as well. Solasta definitely has taken a more hardcore approach to implementing the 5e mechanics, which I think was a very smart move that's going to really capture the more hardcore gaming community and much of the D&D community as well. Smaller, newer companies should take a more niche, unique approach to build a strong community and fan base rather than trying to reach everybody and having an okay game or a game that doesn't have any true strengths. It's going to be exciting to watch Tactical Adventures grow and acquire more resources. Larian Studios with Baldur's Gate 3 has a great opportunity to watch Solasta play out and look at feedback, for I think there are many great ideas in Solasta that can improve Baldur's Gate 3. I'm very excited for both games and I hope they can help each other develop. And that's it for my initial review of this upcoming, seemingly gem of a looking game, Solasta. Thank you so much, Tactical Adventures, for taking on an ambitious project like this. A lot of people, I can tell, are already happy, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing what the future brings for you guys. You guys are helping out the entire market as a whole and setting some new standards. You guys rock. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It's a huge help to my videos. I do all sorts of content on this channel, ranging from live streams to game reviews to lore videos to class guides and much more. I'd love to have some of you guys back for a future video. See some of you guys on my weekly stream soon. Until next time.